Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. It's Ben from Trekitt and we're at the service centre today to talk a little bit about the NEMO Dagger Porch 2-person tent. So as the name might suggest, the Dagger Porch 2 is a 2-person camping tent with the added luxury of an enormous porch that makes life a little bit more comfortable when you're out and about, whether that be bikepacking, car camping, or if you just want the added luxury of more space when you're backpacking. It's a great space to escape from the weather or just to hang out in at the end of the day. So the fly sheet of the tent is made from a 40 denier ripstop nylon that has been siliconized to offer a hydrostatic head of 3000 millimeter. 3000 millimeters is plenty for a tent. You don't need the sort of figures seen in a Gore-Tex jacket, where typically you'll see much higher figures, purely because with a tent it relies on the tautness and structure of the fabric in order to keep things waterproof. Using a 40 denier nylon for the fly sheet helps to ensure that this tent will stand up to years and years of regular use and everything that the British weather pretty much can throw at it outside of full-on winter conditions. The inner of the tent also uses a 40 denier nylon along with NEMO's no-seam mesh, which acts both as increased ventilation but also there to act as your bug net. Or, if you're brave enough to trust the Met Office, you can use this tent without the fly sheet and you can do a bit of stargazing. I wouldn't. The ground sheet is then a 70 denier reinforced nylon ripstop that extends up into the inner of the tent to create a bathtub. That basically just helps stop any water ingress from coming in over the top of the bathtub. And it's also got a hydrostatic head of 5000 millimeters, so a little bit more than the fly sheet. Basically, that will then mean that any water ingress from underfoot, because we're putting a little bit more pressure when we're stepping or lying on the tent, water won't come up through it. All of this is then supported by 2 high-quality DAC featherlight poles. You've got one for the arch, and then one continuous pole set for the inner of the tent. And everything is color-coded, so it's nice and easy to set up and makes it a little bit idiot-proof, which is always handy. The Dagger Porch features a freestanding design, so it's really easy to pitch, but it also means that it can be pitched somewhere else and then moved into position if appropriate. Super simple to pitch. First step is pegging out the inner, attaching the poles to the inner, and at that point that can then be picked up and moved into a location. And then you're chucking the fly sheet over and adding the arch pole, pegging out, pulling taut, simple as that. Once pitched, the fly sheet offers a truly palatial porch, which is fantastic for storing kit, hanging out in, cooking, or even for your muddy pooch if you're taking your dog along with you. There is also on the backside a second smaller entrance with a separate porch, so if there are 2 of you sharing the tent, you've either each got your own entrance so you don't have to clamber over each other during the night, or you've got additional gear storage with a much smaller porch on that side. NEMO designed the Dagger Porch with a whole host of useful and user-friendly features to enhance your camping experience. Most notably are the 2 porches, the big one I'm sat in currently, and then the smaller one on the back side of the tent. Both of them offer great storage space, places to cook, places to store wet and muddy boots, but also with the fully zipped entrances, they allow you to just choose how much of the outside you want in the tent. You can either have them open for enjoying an evening at the campsite, or you can completely close them up if the weather turns foul, and there are great options for ventilation as well. So the Dagger Porch has been specifically designed by NEMO to fit 2 of their Stargaze chairs. We don't currently have any in stock, but we've got our closest equivalent from Robin's, the Observer, and there is plenty of room in here. I'm 6'3", and you could comfortably have 2 of us in here without an issue. So with the door completely sealed, you can also unzip from the other side to offer ventilation into the tent without compromising the waterproofing, because you've got this little rain shield on the top here. But if you want the door entirely open, it does conveniently stash into its own pocket on the side of the door. So once you've unzipped fully, there is then a convenient pocket on the side here that you can then stash the door into so it doesn't flap around in the wind and opens up this porch so you've got all of those fantastic views. The other features of the porch include 2 really useful gear pockets, useful for storing small personal items. There's one on either side of the main entrance. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea of the internal space of the porch. Currently we've got in here a big Yeti cooler, a gravel bike, a trekking pack, and myself at 6'3" on a camping chair, and there is plenty of space for me to still stretch my legs out and we could completely zip this up and we'd still have plenty of space to store more gear. Moving over to the inner of the tent, you've got 4 gear pockets, 1 on each of the 4 corners, along with 2 headlamp pockets, 1 on either end, that use a special light diffusing fabric to give an even glow across the entirety of the tent. So when it comes to sleeping in the Dagger Porch 2, I'm 6'3" and there is ample room in here for 2 of us. If you're sleeping on regular sleeping mats. We've got 2 mats in here currently. One is a long wide and the other is a regular, but you can comfortably get 2 regular or 2 long mats in here, and there's plenty of extra space. So the other features of the interior of the tent, the most notable one is the height. Comes at 106 centimeters, so even at 6'3", I've got a little bit of headroom above me, so it's nice and comfortable to sit up in. Also, along the liner of the tent, you have several hanging points all across for daisy chaining lights or for creating a gear shed. So this gives you an overall idea of the pack size of the NEMO Dagger Porch 2. NEMO claim that this comes in at around 3 kilos, but just for our own tests, we will be weighing it with our luggage scales, so we can see what weight it comes in at. And according to our scales, it comes in at 2.8 kilos. So that's everything in the pack size at the moment. Poles, fly, inner, and pegs. You can get a little bit lighter if you reduce the number of pegs or you don't take the bag as well, but comes in currently at 2.8 kilos. So that was an inside look into the NEMO Equipment Dagger Ridge Porch 2-person tent. Great mix of features with an enormous porch, making it really usable for family camping, backpacking, bike packing, or just for your campsite. If there's not quite enough space in there, if there's more than 2 of you, or you just want a little bit more space in the sleeping compartment, it does also come in a 3-person variety. And remember, if you like the look of this tent and would like to purchase it, click the box that appears on screen now or the link down in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.